everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Nicole and this is Darvanalee Design Studio, and today we're here for DDs FlossTube. It's episode 112, so let's get started. Everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and clicking on this video to see what it's all about. This is a FlossTube video, which means it's all about cross stitch along with embroidery and a few other little things that I do with crafting and whatnot, any sort of finishes that I have. So if you're a new person here and you've yet to subscribe, make sure you hit that subscribe button and to all notifications so you don't miss out on anything. And while you're there, also give me a thumbs up as well. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for being so patient with me. My stitching mojo has returned. Not to what it was, but it has returned somewhat, so I'm super excited about that, and I appreciate you being so patient with me, and so glad that you're back here again. Alright, so we have several finishes today to show you, some cross stitch ones and also some embroidery. We're going to start with the finishes from the magazine. So Down the Rabbit Hole magazine is a magazine that I produce here at Darvanalee Design Studio. It is a, we actually have 8 issues coming out. We've just dropped the winter issue, which dropped last week, and we are moving over to the Patreon platform. So if you are interested in getting that magazine and also some back issues, you can join our Patreon down below. That will cost you $5 US a month, $8.50 Australian, and for that you get the magazine into your inbox, and you can download it and enjoy it. We have several designers that are regulars now, and we produce that, as I said, 8 times a year. We have 4 seasonal ones, which are autumn, winter, spring and summer, and then we have 4 special editions. So we've just recently dropped the Biscornu issue, Biscornu and Smalls issue. The next one, special edition to come out, is our sampler issue, and I'm in the process of sorting some stuff for that as well, along with some other designers. And then we also have a Halloween issue that comes out, and of course we round the year out with a Christmas edition. All right, so let's talk all things winter. From the magazine, you can see the cover here. It is $8.50 if you are wanting to buy it off the website. The website will be shutting down very soon. I think I've got that for the first week of October, and we're moving over to the Patreon platform. All right, so I've had a few questions about the Patreon platform, how it works and all that sort of stuff. So for the magazine, we have other tiers as well. That's sewing, and you still get the magazine for all the tiers as well. But we also have a project bag tier, and yeah, so we've got other tiers for you to look at as well. But we're just going to talk about the base one here today, which is the $8.50 one if you're here in Australia, or $5 in the US. With that one, you get a behind the scenes video. You get the Down the Rabbit Hole magazine, and you also get a discount off any patterns that are over on my website that you might be interested in. That is a little bit slow going at the moment because I am in the process of designing and measurements and prototyping and all the rest of it before I send it off to the pattern testers. So that all takes a little bit of time, but you will get 25% off if there's anything that you're interested in. Now, it's really easy to sign up. You can sign up, and you can also drop out anytime you want. You are not obligated. You're not into a contract. It is pay as you go. If you sign up on the 1st, say you signed up on the 1st of May, then your next payment will come out on the 1st of June. And so if you signed up on the 20th, then it'll come out on the 20th of June. Okay, so as long as you cancel your subscription, if you need to cancel for whatever reason, make sure you cancel before your sign up date, and then you're good to go. But as I said, it is $8.50 a month. I would greatly appreciate if you supported me, because it also helps support the designers as well. That's not just for me. So any money that they're owed for the designs that they've put into the magazine comes out of that as well. So if you would like to support some indie designers, that is a great way to do it. Okay, so enough about all the technical side of things. What did I get finished? And now, if you've already got the magazine, you've already seen this. This is on the front cover. This is my winter drum. I'm fairly new to making drums, but I made a spring one last year, and I thought I'd make a winter one. And this was stitched up by the lovely Jenny Trask. She does a lot of my she's done a lot of my stitching in recent times. Now, this is stitched with Cosmo threads. They're very vibrant blue. Jenny and I are a little bit partial to the Cosmo thread because we both do embroidery as well, and we use that a lot. So I thought that I'd do a little piece. You could use any blues for this. You could do it in whatever color you wanted. I just like these two blues, and so that is it. As I said, I'm fairly new to making drums. I probably could have packed this a little bit tighter. So as I said, I'm fairly new to them, so, but I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. Like, you can see that it probably could have done with a little bit more crushed walnut shells, but you know, you live and learn, and I'm happy with my progress on that. Now, in this issue of Down the Rabbit Hole, we had a article called Red Work, a closer look. We take a closer look at some needlework and whatnot each seasonal issue. So it's not necessarily in the special editions, that's generally just patterns. Okay, so basically I created a couple of little ornaments. So we've got a little mushroom one, and we've got a snowflake one, and then I also have a little cushion that we did, and this is all done with red work. If you're not familiar with red work, it generally only uses 2 stitches, running stitch or back stitch. Occasionally it might have French knots and some satin stitch, but very rarely. It's generally just outlining, and that is what your red work is. So there is this one in here, very simple, nice monochromatic, and I just turned this into a little cushion for on my lounge, and I've just put a red backing on that. Simple envelope back, makes it nice and easy, and this only took me a weekend to do because it is backstitch and you're just outlining essentially. I started it on the Friday night and I finished it Sunday evening. So yeah, so I worked on it on the Friday night for about 3 or 4 hours, and then I worked on it on the Saturday. And I didn't do much on the Sunday because it was Mother's Day when I was finishing it, and yeah, I was getting close to the finish, so I waited until my daughter left to go home, and then I finished it off, and I finished it at about 10 o'clock that night, so I put another 4 hours in it. So it doesn't take too long, and as I said, it is just backstitch, so it's quick and easy. And then if you want to sink your teeth in it, we've got a couple of little ones there, and in future magazines will have some more of these little red works, so you can get some done and hang them on the Christmas tree, and there'll be some, I can tell you there are some woodland creatures coming, so I hope that you enjoy doing those. All right, so that is the stuff from the FFOs from the magazine. Now I'm going to move on to my finished objects, which are not FFO'd, and this is these two are a type of embroidery. Well, one's an embroidery and one is a type of embroidery that I like to do. So this one is called, where's the cover? It is called the Dilly Dally Pincushion, and that's what it looks like. This is one that I got from a quilt show last year when I went down with the lovely Gail, Morgana Stitchy Moon, and Jenny Trask and Michelle _ Trails. Jenny is Jenny Stitches on Instagram, and Michelle is Michelle _ Trails. They're both on Instagram, and we went down to the quilt show here in Brisbane, and we're meeting up again in August. Unfortunately, Gail can't make it, but the 4 of us are meeting up in Townsville, so we're going to Townsville this year, which is great. I'm looking forward to it. I have not gone on a plane in such a long time, and I'm super excited. So I started this on slow stitching Saturday. For those that follow along, you've probably seen this. I started it, it spun up as a new start. Well, I have actually finished all the embroidery part of that. It's just basically, this has some French knots, and then it's just running stitch, a little bit of satin stitch, and back stitch. So that is it there. It used DMC. It came with all the bits and pieces, excuse me, that you need. So now what I need to do is turn it into a pin cushion, and you can see on the side I have a few little Suffolk puffs to make, so I've got to get onto those. I still don't know what fabric I'm going to use, but I'm thinking that I'm going to use this blue fabric here. because it's got a bit of white in it, it's got some flowers in it, and I think it'll make cute Suffolk puffs. I'm still not 100% sure, but we'll see how we go. But it'll get turned into a pin cushion, and I have another one that comes on a little tuffet, so I'm looking forward to starting that soon as well. But I have to wait for it to be spun up on the wheel in Slow Stitching Saturday. All right, so let me just set that aside. The next one, this is another finish from Slow Stitching Saturday. I've been on a roll in the last 2 weeks. As I said, I have been mixing up my stitching. I've been doing not a lot of cross stitching, but I've been doing more sashiko and embroidery and stuff like that, which I've been thoroughly enjoying, and I think that that has spurred me on a little bit to get my cross stitching back into action. I mean, I've still been stitching like cross stitch stuff for the magazine, and you know, we still have Snow Village going and all that sort of stuff, but this one is my sashiko piece that I'm doing now. If you have been watching Slow Stitching Saturday, this has made an appearance twice, but I did most of this off the camera, and I finished this on the weekend, on Friday, or actually on Friday night. Now, there is one more bit to do. So technically it's a finish, but it might not be a finish, if that makes sense, because as I've been doing this, I've decided that I am going to get some more of these different patterns that have these different things on them. So geometric shapes, maybe, you know, a dragonfly, things like that. And I'm going to do 9 of them in total. This is all just done with running stitch, so you can see there that it's very simple. It comes with a transfer, so you're just tracing the lines, as you can see it here, and then it's basically you're just doing that, and then you weave it all through on the back. Now basically, as I was saying, I have these little lines here that I need to do. Now, I'm not 100% sure if every panel comes with that, so I don't want to do that if it doesn't come with it on every panel. If it does, then it's only going to take me half an hour to do that up, so I thought I'd leave it, wait till I get a couple more panels. Thanks to Morgana and Gail, they told me where I got it from, because I could not remember, and I looked through all of my stuff and I could not find a card. So I found them on Etsy, and they've got a few designs over there. I'm going to go and have a look. They only told me on Friday, and I haven't had a chance to have a look. I'm going to go over and have a look at their website and see if I can't get a few more. If not, I'll just wait until I go up to the quilt show in August, and I'll get some then. So it's not a big rush, but this is finished. It's getting put aside. I need to do another 8 of these, and then I'm going to turn it into a quilt. Now, I won't be doing that quilt on the channel or anything like that, but you will get updates if you're joined our Patreon. You will get updates over there on what's happening with that. All right, now I'm super excited for my next one, my next finish. This is like no progress, just all finishes. This one was a birthday sale for Rolanda. Rolanda is a lovely woman that I have met over well, I actually met her at a retreat at the end of last year. She's part of Brisbane Stitches. Subsequently, we've become very fast friends, and she's actually helping me out on the Facebook group with posting and all that, and just moderating, making sure that everything's running smoothly so I can create more content and all that sort of stuff. And it's been a godsend. Anyway, she had a birthday sale in the group. We created an event, and we were all stitching on Shannon Christine. Well, I got my little piece finished. I knew that I couldn't commit to too much, so I just committed to I've got the ornament series, I think it's from 2021, and so I got that finished, so I was pretty happy with that. I finished that I think it was like because her birthday sale went from the 1st of April to the 30th of April, and I finished this last week. I got a lot of it done. We had a Zoom meeting as well on her actual birthday and spent the day with her, and yeah, so I got a lot of that done, and I finished the Little Witch on Monday of last week. I think I did the Stitch With Me, so I finished that, or the Tuesday I finished that. It was a different Stitch With Me last week, so that's super exciting. All right, now to progress. All right, so let me just start with Snow Village. We all know what Snow Village looks like these days. I'm not going to worry about showing the cover or anything like that. So this is the one that I'm using for the Stitch With Me, and I know that not everybody watches my Stitch With Me, but going forward, during my FlossTube, there will be a Stitch With Me at the end of it, so you can see what the progress is and all that sort of stuff, but I will always show it anyhow. Okay, so we are almost finished the center part, so I've just got to do some stuff onto the snowman. I've got a couple more snowflakes to do, and I have this tree to finish, and then I can move on to the next one. Now I am not doing the back stitching on this until I'm finished the next little house over here, so we are making some progress on that. My hope is to have this finished by the end of the year, but as I said, we are speeding it up a little bit, and we are going to be doing this twice a week now, because that's the only time I work on it is for a stitch with me. So I need to pick up the pace a little bit, because I want to get another one in and worked on. Not necessarily a Christmas one or anything like that, but just another whip that I can work on each week, twice a week. So going forward with the it's just set up over here so I can do the stitch with me afterwards. So going forward, we will be actually having 2 stitch with me's a week. My FlossTube will be, you know, any progress that I've made, whether it be embroidery or cross stitch, and then it will be a small stitch with me afterward. It might be half an hour or so, like that. All right, the next one, this one is a bingo prompt, and I didn't bring my bingo sheet. This is a bingo prompt that I done, and I think it was to stitch on something that had trees in it, and I'm going to leave it in the plastic bag. But anyway, it's Hello Halloween. It is this that I am stitching. I started this at the new year, and I got about 200 stitches in it. That was it, and then I just sort of sat it down. Well, it spun up the other week, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get it in. And so I have managed to, I had this bit done at New Year. I started that because I'd done 2 starts in New Year, so I got that in, but I did the cat and this and the border along. So not a lot of progress. I only spent a couple of hours on this because it was production week when I worked on it, so that takes up a lot of time, but still it's some progress, and I'm pretty happy with that. But that is, I don't have any haul. I've been a good girl and haven't been buying extra stuff. I think I've got enough to work on. So going forward, my plan is just to keep working along the, like I'm just working one page. This is page 1 just here. So I've got the 2 cats, the little pumpkin there, and then the jack-o'-lantern. I think there's a couple of things here. So I'm just doing one page at a time and getting it done. Now, the next things that I'm going to be working on, because I'm catching up on some bingo, is my red dragon, and which is Savannah's piece, which I don't have here, like none of it's here in front of me, and Huckleberry Farm by the Blue Flower. Those 2 I've got to catch up on, and then of course I've got this week's as well. But that is it for my FlossTube today. We are going to now cut to doing some stitching with Snow Village, and we'll spend about half an hour on that, and then when we come back we'll wrap it all up. Hey everybody, welcome to the Stitch with me. Going forward, as I talked about in the FlossTube, this will be at the end of my FlossTube, and also we'll have another one where it's just me stitching on this. So basically what my plan is to just basically get some stitches into this after my FlossTube. We're working on the center one. I've still got some snowflakes to go here and a couple over here, then the back stitching and just a little bits and pieces on top of the snowman and this tree. So I've loaded up my needle to work on the tree pretty much straight away. We'll get that done, and then we'll see where we go from there. I'll probably then start to do the snowflakes across the bottom here. As I said, we have quite a number, like you can see here, there's a whole row of them. There's some under the tree, and then there's that one up in the corner. I'm not doing any of the back stitch until I have done the other little chart that's over here, which is similar to this one, and then I'll just do all the back stitch at one time. All right, so I have my needle loaded up, so let's get stitching, shall we? So as I said, my needle is loaded up, and basically what I'm going to do is I am just going to go down one side of the tree, and I'm doing the half leg as I go. And then I will come back up that side of the tree and finish off that cross. All right, so basically, as I said, that's what I'm going to do. I'll go back up, and then we'll continue doing some snowflakes and all of that sort of stuff. So as you've seen, I've still got a little bit to do on this one, but it won't take too long at all. All right, so basically the reason that I started doing this one leg at half a leg at a time is because on the top row I made several mistakes counting errors, because I was trying to talk and also count at the same time, and let's face it, Nicole can't count. We've established that, right? So basically what I started to do, and for those that are new here, I started mapping out, and what mapping out is where I do half of the leg of the cross, and then on the Stitch With Me I come back and do the second part of the cross and complete it. And I started doing that with this middle one here because I just kept making mistakes and it was getting very, very frustrating. And so I mapped it all out, and from what I can tell, I have made no mistakes or any errors on this one, because when I was mapping out, I was, sitting on the couch by myself, just relaxing and going one step at a time and all that sort of stuff. So for the foreseeable future, I think that is what I'm going to do in my Stitch With Me's. So that means that you will see, when I come on, you will see the progress that I've made during the week with half a leg of the cross, and then I will just basically pull those colours out and work on those colours. And most of the mistakes that I made is in the bottom part of the blocks, and I keep calling them blocks because that's just the quilter in me. Each little house is its own chart, but I tend to call them blocks for some reason. Well, as I just said, because I am a quilter, and that's just sort of the way I go. And so for the foreseeable future, I'm just going to map it out. Now, some of you are probably wondering what the rings are on my fingers, because they're a new addition. These rings I just recently got while I was out shopping with Savannah. I cannot remember the name of the place. It was like, those little pop-up stores that you get in malls in the centre, like where everybody's walking and they just have those little pop-up things. They usually have kids' toys, books. This one was like a alternative shop, so it had crystals and all that sort of stuff, and they had these little kids rings which were super cute, and that's what's on the tip of my index finger, and it's got an amethyst in it. They're sterling silver. And I thought I'd lost it after I went shopping with Savannah, and she went and got me another one, so now I've got one with a little heart on it as well. And the dot of amethyst that you can see at the base of my finger there, that was another ring that I come across. I used to wear a garnet ring on this finger, and it had 3 of those circles that were joined, and it went up to my knuckle, so the circle was a little bit smaller. But I seen this one the other day with the amethyst in it, and I thought, you know what, I really like that, I'm going to get it. So that's what I've got. And of course the one on my thumb we've talked about before. I got that from AliExpress. That's just some costume jewelry that I got that I like to wear, and it's an adjustable ring, so it goes on my thumb, which I really enjoy. So as you can see here, I'm working my way back up the tree and completing that cross, and then I'll come down the other side of the tree as well. Also, tell me what you're working on today in the comments down below. Are you working on Snow Village alongside me, or are you working on something different? I would love to know what you're working on. You never know, might find myself something to purchase. I've been a really good girl and not purchasing anything because I've got enough stuff to work on, and enough variety of stuff to work on as well. But, there's always that stuff that ends up in my cart and might sit there for a little while. You just never know. It doesn't hurt. So, and also tell me, what have you been doing lately? Have you been getting lots of stitching in? Have you been doing lots of craft, or have you been spending time with family? I haven't really been doing all that much in the way of going out or anything like that, but I have been spending a lot of time with my girls. So some of you might be wondering how Savannah is going. Savannah is going really well. She has settled into the groove of living in Brisbane. She has settled into the groove of going to university, which is great. She has started to get some of her reporting back and of assignments and stuff like that, and she's doing okay. She doesn't feel stressed about it at all. I'm not sure if I mentioned this last week or not, but she has got herself a babysitting job, which is good. She babysits, I think, is twice a week at the moment, and she is also tutoring as well. The tutoring is really interesting. She's tutoring a young lad that lives out in Western Queensland, and he goes to a local school there that only has 2 classrooms, which is really good because Savannah can really relate to that, because that's how she started her school career out at a small school, only had 2 classrooms. So basically they're multi-class classrooms, which is a bit of a mouthful, and that can sometimes be a bit of a disadvantage. That's one of the reasons why we moved into Kingaroy, because Savannah showed signs of accelerated reader and all that sort of stuff. So we moved her to a school where that could be accommodated for, which, you know, it was the right move in the end. And yeah, so she has just settled in really well. And as I said, she's tutoring this young lad only once a week at this point in time. And he's out in Western Queensland. And of course, she's babysitting, which was just around the corner from her place, which is good. So she doesn't have to drive too far. And she's doing that twice a week for a lady that's just starting up her cleaning business. And so she's looking after her son for her, which is really good. She's settled into that. She is hoping that she'll pick up some more babysitting jobs over weekends and stuff like that. So she's got a little bit more cash. But as I said to her, you've got this first one, so you've got your foot in the door. I mean, she's great at babysitting. She's babysat before. She's babysat for me, for Mia and stuff like that. And she's always been really good at it. So I have no problems recommending her to anybody. But, you know, some people might think that that's a little bit biased and whatnot. But she's got a couple of references anyway. And as I said to her, you know, like, give it a chance. You will end up with more work than you will know what to do with, which will be good. And yeah, and then she'll just get into the groove of that as well. So there's a few other things that she was looking at doing. She's thinking that she might go and get her RSA certificate as well, so she can work in a bar and whatnot. And of course, she's still looking at news agencies and stuff like that, or hospitality is probably where she'll go, because that's probably the most flexible for her. Other than that, she's just been cruising along, and she's getting ready to go away with a group of friends, her first grown-up holiday and whatnot, so she's excited about that. She forgot to take my suitcase with her when she went, so we're going to have to do a bit of a mercy dash down there so she can have that as well. Other than that, not a great deal else has been happening with her. We spent Mother's Day, which I think I told you about last week. That's all that's really been going on with her, as far as I know. She's just been studying and all that sort of stuff. So she's settled in, which is good. I'm happy that she settled in and whatnot. She was glad that she come home for the weekend last weekend, so that was really good. And then, yeah, other than that, nothing else has really been happening. Now, what else has been... Oh, Narrowly, we've been... spending a lot of time together, getting her hours up, and last week I think I said that she was up to 40 hours. She wasn't. She's just gone over to the 42 hours this week. We did a trip back from Toowoomba, so she got a couple of hours there, and we've just done some incidental driving around town, you know, going getting pot plants, all that sort of stuff for her. And then anytime I've got to go to the shop, I've been getting her to drive me, even though I want to walk. And all that sort of stuff. So she's been doing really well with getting her hours in. We just need to get a bit more in, just because we've only got 3 months to go, and she's still got, you know, 60 hours to get. And she's also working and all that sort of stuff as well. So we've got to work around that, and I'm working and whatnot. But we have been doing a lot of incidental driving. So when she wants to go out and visit her friend lives about 10 k's out of town. When we're going to the markets, that's half an hour driving there. You know, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. And it's all starting to really add up, which is good. So, yeah, so I'm pretty happy with the progress that we've been getting in that aspect. I just need to get a little bit more. So, yeah, she's been going really well with her schoolwork and all that sort of stuff. That's going really well. She's just cruising along with that. She's not in such a rush this time to do it, which is good, but bad at the same time, I think. That's her opinion. Anyway, so she's just sort of cruising along with it and not rushing it as much, but she's still about 5 weeks ahead anyway. on that. So that's been going along. I've got to do some assessing and all that sort of stuff and get that all in and make sure that it's all, you know, above board and whatnot, you know. So she's just waiting on me for a few things. The only place that we're probably lacking a little bit is science, because we need to get some stuff and whatnot. And of course, Kingaroy doesn't have it, so we'll have to go and take a drive down to Toowoomba or somewhere like that and grab what we need. We were in Toowoomba the other day and she forgot a list, so that was a little bit tricky. So she's put it. Hopefully, she's put that in her notes now, and we can get what we need for her when we're over there next time. But she's been reading a lot more and all that sort of stuff. And I can tell you, she came out not a little while ago. Come out and she said to me, "Oh, I need to go to Spotlight. You could have knocked me over with a feather," because like that is not a sentence that I ever think that I'm going to hear come out of my daughter's mouth, because, you know, like, she does do some crafting. She's not a crafter as such, and she's wanting to start making some crochet toys. There is a boy motivation behind this. Her boyfriend likes whale sharks, so she wants to create him a whale shark. So I'm like, yep, no worries, off we'll go. So she wants to get some yarn, and I've got, you know, crochet hooks and stuff here, and I've got some yarn here, so she's going to have a bit of a look through that. But I'll tell you now, you could have knocked me over with a feather. Just spun me out. Like, it's just Savannah says I've got to go to Spotlight, you know, every other day. Nerily, I don't think I've ever heard that come out of her mouth, but anyway, out of her mouth it came. So I'm like, yeah, all right, no worries. So I'm going to try and create some time, and we'll go for a drive over to go and see Savannah and go down to Morayfield Spotlight, and she can get what she wants there. And it's good for me too, because I can get some flowers from the shop next door for finishing and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. Who would have thought that Nerily wanted to go to Spotlight? So as I was saying, you would have noticed that the Slow Stitching Saturday has only been going up every fortnight. So I'm doing a little bit of restructuring, and you would have noticed that a couple of things have been missing of late, FlossTube being one of them. You know, the Slow Stitching Saturday has been a bit hit and miss, and also Stitch With Me's haven't been as frequent as they should be. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I am actually doing a little bit of restructuring. So we've got some time changes and all that sort of stuff. So going forward, apart from this week, so starting next week, we will be doing a FlossTube and Stitch With Me every Monday. I was just going to move it to the Tuesday, but I've decided that I'm still going to film my FlossTube on a Friday, but I'm going to post it up on a Friday or a Saturday when I've got a little bit more time, and I'm going to post it up on the Monday. So that will have a Stitch With Me, so like the video you're watching today. And then on Tuesdays we'll be doing, you know, they'll be like little extra videos. So they'll be like your trash and treasure video, or maybe a diamond painting, or some other craft that I'm working on, or something like that. So there'll be something like that. Now, I haven't got a set with if this is going to happen every week, but I'm going to endeavour to do that. So as I said, this week, this Tuesday, it was a FlossTube and Stitch With Me, which is this video that you're watching, because I wasn't well last week at the end of the week, and so basically I didn't get any filming done on Thursday or Friday, unfortunately. So that meant that I didn't have anything for Monday. Now we're still going to be having our sewing tutorials on Wednesdays, but Tuesdays, as I said, it'll be some sort of extra video that go in. Sometimes it might be a sewing tutorial. It'll be something that will go in on that day. I have no set thing in place for that at the moment, but I do have diamond paintings that I have to do, so we might do some whip and chats. I do have some finishing, like blocks and stuff that I need to get finished, so we might do some of that. It'll just be something that will go in there. Now Wednesdays, as I said, that will still be the A to Z quilt block challenge that will go up every fortnight, and then we will have a sewing tutorial that will go up when we don't have a to Z quilt block going up. And then on Thursdays we have our live streams. Now this is probably one of the biggest changes that we're going to be doing. We're going to still be doing live streams, so don't worry there. We are just going to be moving them back a bit. So instead of doing them, I normally go live at 10 o'clock. We will be going live at 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, I know that is, our Western Australian friends, that it's going to be 6 a.m. for you, and I know that is pretty early, but hopefully you can still join in the fun. If not, you can always watch the replay. Now, my live streams on Thursdays are called Crafting with DDs, and they are things that are off my shelf. So it might be something that needs to get finished, or it'll be a block of the month like we're doing right now. Predominantly, it is probably going to be block of the month because I have several of them from the Fat Quarter Shop, and I really want to get them done. So it's Crafting with DDs, working things off my shelf. So as I said, there'll be things that need to get finished. Occasionally it might be something in embroidery or something along those lines, because I have a couple of block of the months where I need to do embroidery for them and stuff like that. So those ones will probably be a little bit longer, and you know, from time to time I might do just an update video on the Tuesday or something like that. But yeah, so basically the Thursday videos are getting voted on in Patreon. That will be going up this week because I'm getting close. I think I've got 4 blocks left in the current block of the month that I'm doing, which is the 2018 Designer Mystery from the Fat Quarter Shop is what I'm working on. Now, that pattern is still available. The fabrics, however, are not. But you could do, it'll be a beautiful quilt in no matter what fabrics that you use. Now, I'm doing it as a block of the month. Excuse me. Because I got it as a block of the month back in 2018, but I didn't get the finishing kit with it or the backing with it. So this one I'm going to improvise. I've just got the fabric for the blocks and all the rest of it. Going forward, however, all the block of the months that I have the finishing kit and also the backing with it. So they're complete kits. And I'm just been buying them. I think I didn't, I got 2018, and then I didn't get 2019 or 2020, but then I got 21 and 22. Sorry, I got 2021 because they start in the middle of the year and finish in the middle of the year. So I have one more block coming for the current one, which was started in 2021 and goes to 2022, and then a new one will start the following month when that finishes, which will be 23. Let me try that again. Okay, so the one that I'm receiving right now, which is a blue one, which you've probably seen, that started in 2022 and gone into 2023. Okay, and then I got one prior to that, which was 2021 to 2022. I did not, however, get anything in 2019 and 2020 to 21. There was about 18 months that I didn't get that there because of the pandemic was one reason, and 2, I was really watching my pennies in that particular time because of the pandemic, and I'm sure you can all relate to that. So anyway, basically I think I've got 2 on there at the moment. I'm working on the 2018. I've got 2 on my shelf still that I would like to get done. They have 12 blocks in them, and then we do a finishing video and stuff like that. So these are things that I want to work on the channel. So they will be going to the vote in our Patreon. They will pick the next one because, as I said, I've only got 4 blocks left in the current one that I'm working on. So I don't want to have a break, like I don't want to have a week's break between it. I just want to get them done. And so hopefully I'm wanting to work on the blue one. So hopefully they pick the blue one, but it'll be what it'll be. They'll get to vote on it, and then of course I've got other projects as well, so when I don't have, there'll be a couple of projects for them to pick up. I'm hoping that they pick the Fat Quarter Shop one. If not, there's some other ones there that I'm going to put in the mix for them to choose from, so time will tell. I have no idea what I'm going to be working on, so this is a little bit exciting as well. And then there's a couple of tutorial ones that they'll be picking for the channel, just different ideas and stuff like that, and they'll find some projects to go with it. So that is going up for the vote. But as I said, the the time is actually changing, and I'm bringing that forward to 8 a.m. And that's mainly because I have things that I have to do on Thursday. One of them is most times she doesn't work during the day, and so I'm trying to clear some time during the week where I can take her out to do some driving lessons and stuff like that. So I figured if I pull that live stream, that is quite movable. So I'm pulling the live stream forward to 8 a.m. and basically that means that I will be able to get that sorted and done and dusted. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm going to rush through it or anything like that. It'll be like it always is, the same format. It's just going to be 2 hours earlier. And I know that that affects a lot of people that are in different time zones and all that sort of stuff. But I think for our American viewers, it's actually going to be better for you because it'll be a little bit earlier, not so late in the evening for you. So that might work a little bit better. So just be aware that that is happening to our Thursday time slot. Now, Friday rolls around, and that is now going to be my Stitch with Me. So basically that means that on Friday we will just have a Stitch with Me where you get to see more of Snow Village, and hopefully that means that I will start getting through this chart a little bit quicker than what we have been. I just want to get it done because there's so many other things that I want to work on and I want to get stitches in. I've got stuff that's almost finished, so we can move those along as well. I mean, when I say almost finished, they're not quite there yet. They'll have, maybe 6 weeks of stitching left on them, but to me that's almost a finish. So, things like Huckleberry Farm, Night Walk Down by the Blue Flower. We've also got some other charts that I'm working on, like Cinnamon Stars is almost done. I've also got I've got 3 hawk runs on the go at the moment that I haven't put any stitches in. So it'll be good to get some of those up. I am going to continue with the same format with the Stitch with Me. So whatever I work on, that is what I'll continue working on until it's finished. I also have Farmhouse Christmas, which is another one that I have started and not put much in. I think I'm maybe halfway through the first block. I'm probably not, but about halfway through the first block on that one, and it's got the same sort of setup as this one. So that is another one that possibly could get worked on. Again, the Patreon members will be choosing what I will be working on, so that's exciting for them as well. But that will come when we get a little bit closer to the end of this. So when I'll know, let's say the second last block, that's when I'll put the vote up, so I'll know. So that's exciting to not know what I'm going to be working on next. A little bit interesting take on the channel, a little bit of fun there, but again, I will work on that like I have with the Snow Village and get that all sorted out, and that way I'll get some more projects finished with any luck. That's sort of how we're going to go. And then, of course, we've got Slow Stitching Saturday. Now, I'm trying to get some videos in the bank for Slow Stitching Saturday because, again, it's coming down to heading out with Neroli and basically going and doing stuff instead of just driving around, actually driving to a destination. So she's been looking for like different things that are happening around our area. Now I know that we've got the Bacon Fest, which is only here in Kingaroy, coming up in August, but we also have like the Pumpkin Festival out at Gameri. That's about an hour away, so that's something we can do together. I think there's some festivals happening down south of us as well. I think there's something coming up at Blackbutt. We have the markets every month as well, so we're trying to go to those and just getting out of the house and doing some stuff. So that's why I sort of want to make a little bit more time during the week, because I've still got quilting on top of that, which is generally on a Friday when I'm doing my BookTube stuff as well. So yeah, there's lots and lots of stuff happening, and I'm trying to consolidate everything into the Monday to Friday, and it can be a little bit tricky to do that, but I think I've got it. I think I've got the plan. So the plan at this stage, and I've talked about this before, Monday and Tuesday are my solid filming days. So that basically the battery pack is charged up, the camera is charged up, and I just basically film everything that I can film. And sometimes I'll do voiceovers, sometimes I'll just talk, and yeah, and I mean, you guys wouldn't know the difference anyway. I mean, maybe the microphone sounds a little bit different from the when I'm just generally talking and whatnot. But going forward with the Stitch With Me's, I will be able to map a lot of it out, and then that way, when it comes time to it, I can just talk while I'm stitching because it's already mapped out. I'm just getting the colors that I need, so that's going to make it a little bit easier to get stuff in the bank. Now with the Slow Stitching Saturday, because I had that wheel spin, it's going to make it a little bit easier going forward, because I'm working on this week, I'm going to be working on the white embroidery owl, and I already know what I'm going to be working on for the next video, so because we've got that wheel spin. So basically what that means is I will be able to have that set up and ready to go, and when I've got a spare 5 minutes, I can sit down and start filming. Now it doesn't matter if I've got 4 or 5 different videos logged in together for that one video and I've just got to splice them together. I keep trying to just do it all at once, and I think that that's where I keep falling down with the Slow Stitching Saturday. So excuse me, basically what I'm going to do is just splice some of those videos together, and just even if it is 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes over here, I've got a 30-minute video in the end. Do you know what I mean? So that's sort of where I'm going. So the plan this week is to stitch out the owl and set up the next one and get some stitches into that, and yeah, and hopefully that means that I will get some more progress a little bit quicker on some of these whips that I've got on that wheel. Now we've as you've seen, I've finished the dilly dally embroidery parts, and now I've just got to do some Suffolk puffs for that, so that's going to be easy enough. I've just got to cut them out and I can sit there and do them at the TV, because I haven't spun that up. And so, yeah, so I can get some of those done and make a little bit of more progress on that. So, yeah. And then you've seen that I finished the sashiko as well, because I was doing that while I was editing videos and whatnot. Now, I know that you guys never got to see a lot of that progress. You just seen it finished and all that sort of stuff. So if you are wanting to see progress and stuff like that, that is part of our lower tier, which is the $8.50 tier on Patreon, where you get the magazine and you get the behind the scenes. You also get whip updates as well. And most of those whip updates are generally stuff that I have worked on Slow Stitching Saturday, so sashiko, embroidery, and all that sort of stuff. So if that's something that you want to see, the progress, and see how I'm making progress more often for that sort of stuff, come on over and join the $8.50 tier if you're here in Australia, or $5 if you're in America, and help support the channel and help me get more content out to you and all that sort of stuff. All right, so yeah, that's the $8.50 tier, where you see all of that sort of update and whatnot. So then that is Slow Stitching Saturday. That's what the plan is and where I'm going to go with that. So hopefully that will work. Fingers crossed. I hope you all got your fingers crossed, and your toes, please. Because as I said, I'm trying to get everything into my Monday to Friday, especially when I don't have Mia here. It's really good because I can get up, I can go to the gym, and then I can yeah, and I can just come in on Monday and Tuesday and know that that's all I'm doing is I'm filming, and I just film as much as I can on that day. And then I can spend the rest of the week editing and stuff like that, which I generally do from 3 o'clock onwards. All right, so I mentioned the gym there. I have been going to the gym, and I am excited to say that I have been fairly consistent. There was a couple of days I missed last week because I wasn't feeling the best at the end of the last week, but I am getting my time up. I am getting back up to speed and all that sort of stuff. I'm feeling good about it. Like, I'm not stressing myself and trying to get up at 5:30 in the morning to go to the gym. If I wake up, I take my time, I get out of bed, but I know by 7 o'clock I need to be in that gym. So if I wake up at 5 o'clock, I can get some reading in before I go out there, and then I go out, and I'm trying to get up to the hour, and I'm slowly but surely increasing that, and it's really working. Now, I haven't added any extra stuff on my shoulders. I am just walking at this point, so I am not doing, sorry if you can hear that banging, but that was my husband just leaving with the truck. So I haven't added anything extra in, or weights or kitchen stuff like food or anything like that. I'm just walking at the moment, and I'm slowly building up. Once I get to an hour, then I am going to look at adding in some weights, maybe 20 minutes of weights, and then I'll focus on I'll focus on the food first, and then I'll go to the weights. So yeah, that is of all the things that have been happening in the background and what we've got going on and all the rest of it. But that's it for our Stitch with me for today. Thank you for joining. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you being here. And like I said at the beginning of the video, welcome to all my new viewers and also returning viewers. I really appreciate you being here and giving me a thumbs up. If you've yet to subscribe, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to all notifications. And if you're a returning viewer, just check that you have actually set that to all notifications so you don't miss out on any future videos. But that is it from me today. Have a great day, everybody. Hopefully you get lots of stitching in, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.